What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Minecraft Unabridged, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than usual, but I think it's going to be really fun. So clearly we are not at our new base. We're not going to be working on that today. We're actually over here at BrinkTheGamer's new base. If you guys didn't know what this is his new base that he's been working on, and it looks fantastic. But that is besides the point, because today we are over here because we are going to be pranking him. So if we take a look at my inventory, I have a lot of random stuff in here, and that is because I have a pretty intricate prank today. Now, I actually think Brink is really going to enjoy this prank. It's going to set him on a little bit of an adventure, so that should be fun for him. And Nonsanity told me a while back that my pranks were pretty weak, so this one is going to be to prove him wrong. So I spent a long time thinking about it to get a good one, and I think I got one. So assuming I don't get caught while I'm working on this, and I don't totally screw it up, it should be pretty good. So since there's a lot of different stuff going on in this one, I'm kind of just going to work my way through it, and then I'll describe it as I go rather than trying to cover everything at once. So we're going to set up the main little hub for the prank area right here on this nice loamy dirt. So I already kind of cleared out an area, but I had to take a brief pause, so I kind of covered it up so if Brink did hop on, he wouldn't know what I was doing. But we're going to be using this area right here, and the reason for that is because we do not want this to be chunk loaded until Brink gets on and comes over here. And the nice thing is that Brink does not load his entire enormous base. He has made a point of using spot loaders to only load the areas that need to be loaded so that he can help prevent lag on the server. So nice guy Brink is actually helping us out when it comes to pranking him. So we are going to be encasing this little area right here in a shield. So we're going to use a bunch of these shield templates, put them down, and I would use a builder's wand, but these are actually kind of annoying to place with a builder's wand until we get a little bit higher up, but we actually don't have that many to place. So I guess we can order our builder's wand right now. Whoops, that is right there. So we can request that and grab that out and start using it now. And it should work fine for just bringing it up a few levels. I think we want to go up to about this level, and then we want to fill in this area down here with some of this loamy dirt we just cleared out of the ground. This will work fine, and we're gonna have this little area in here to work, and I think we can raise it up one more level before putting the ceiling in, and that'll give us some nice room to work in. It's a little cramped in here, but it shouldn't be too bad, and that should be good. So the reason we want a whole 360-degree coverage on this is so that Brink can't squeak his way in here and kind of cheat the system. So there might be a couple ways to cheat the system, but we're going to try our best to prevent him from cheating the system. So we're going to throw down this shield projector, and it already has some power, but we're going to need to give it more so that it can run, because I don't know when Brink will be on here for this to actually work. So we got the Tesseract right here. It is hooked up. It is only receiving energy. This thing has full power, and what we're going to be doing is making it, so I'll delete this and just make a new one so you guys know what I'm doing, but we need to set this, so where's my wrench? Right here. Okay, so we click on this with the wrench. It's going to register all these shield templates around it as its actual shield. So it's projecting this shield right now, and it's not really doing anything. It's not damaging us. It's not a solid block. It's just kind of projecting it, and we can actually go in there and change the settings as to what it's going to do. So we can make it look better and make it actually work. So you can change the color of this, make it all different colors. This one looks disgusting, but we're actually going to make it invisible. So it's still here, you just can't see it. And then we're going to make it so that it's solid, and we'll turn off NEI, and it says entity that matches this filter cannot pass, and right below it is the filter. So everything cannot pass through it, no matter what player it is, animal, entity, nothing can pass through it. And we're going to add that, and now if we look over here, oh hey, having a nice day? No sir, you cannot walk through it, you cannot fly up, you cannot get down, you cannot do anything, you can't break the blocks because they're not actually there. So the only way to get out of here is to stop this, and that would be to use redstone. So we are going to set this eventually to being active when it is off, when the redstone signal is not on in here, but of course then we can't get out. So we're actually going to set this to being visible shield and that it needs redstone on. So the shield blocks are still consumed by that. If we were to turn it on, it would still fill in that area, but now we have some work that we can do outside of that and still get back in there and work. So what we're going to be doing is using a lot of wireless redstone and a lot of blue power to make it so that this dispenser is going to fire off fireworks at a certain interval that we decide upon, and it's going to do that whenever Brink is on, and it's going to be inside this, so he's going to have to deal with the noise, which is going to force him to actually go and find the levers that are going to allow him to enter here by shutting off this shield projector. And the reason he can't actually get in here to shut it off on his own is because it's encased in its own shield. So he's going to have to turn it off from the outside using levers that we are going to hide around his base. So it's kind of going to be like a scavenger hunt. And we're even going to throw some dummy levers in there. We got 10 levers, and 3 of them are going to need to be flipped in a certain direction for the shield to actually shut off. So I think it'll be fun for him. It's kind of going to be like a nice little Easter egg hunt for him. It's a little early for that, but to start off, we're going to throw down this dispenser, and we got to keep in mind we're working in a 3x3x3 area, and we got to make sure that the redstone isn't conflicting at all. So we're going to have a timer that is going to be hooked up. It should be able to just be hooked up right like this, and it should be okay. It looks a little glitchy. That might be because of a tick on the server, but if we want to just test it out, make sure it works. Yep, okay, so obviously the interval is going to be a little bit different than this. It's at 2 seconds right now, but for now, we can leave it running like that and actually take this inverter and throw it down over here. We got to make sure it is facing the right direction, though. We want it to be like this. So when there's no signal coming in here, this is going to be shut off. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to take an online detector, and we should be able to, I think, just put this right in here. And if we were to set it to me, so Dr. Ragehard, save it, it should emit a redstone signal because I am on, and then this will start going. And what we're actually going to do is set it to Brink. I believe his name is BrinkTheGamer. Hopefully I'm right. If not, that would ruin it. But obviously it's off because he's not on right now. And the nice thing is that, say he were to log on and not be over here at his base, as long as this chunk is not loaded, which it shouldn't be, this thing should not detect him being online. So say he logs on for like an hour and is just doing stuff at spawn or helping someone out and never comes over here, never sees this, then he won't come over here and find that there are no fireworks, which are what are going to be shot out of this dispenser. He won't find that there's no fireworks left in there, because it won't have started ticking until he actually loads the chunk by going into one of his 2 portals. So I think that should work. I tested it out, and it seems that if the chunk isn't loaded, it shouldn't detect them coming online. That would make sense. So unless I'm really missing something, we should be okay here. The nice thing is that this is encased in here too, so he can't just find the online detector and screw with that and just break that, and then it'll stop, because if this isn't here, then this isn't firing off. Also, this is kind of like in the center of his base, so he's kind of forced to get rid of it, even if it's not firing stuff off, which is nice. So that part is all good. And it should work fine. Should be set to BrinkTheGamer. Now what we need to do is set it so that fireworks are filling this thing up constantly. So we're going to throw down an item conduit. What just flew out right there? Oh, that is so weird. Okay. So we got this item conduit here, which is going to be inserting into this, and we got this hardened cache, which is going to go, it's going to go on top of this guy right here. Why can I not jump up? There we go. Okay, so it's going to go right there, and extract always, and let's just make sure that it works. Let's toss some redstone in there. Yep, so it should drop it down in here. Always want to check that. And what we're going to do is go into this remote orderer, and if we look at fireworks, okay guys, I don't know what just happened there, but my game minimized, so we're back, and I actually started filling this thing up with fireworks, but we do have the rest of them in my inventory, and we're just gonna casually throw them in there. So it looks like this is very slowly filling up, but we should have a good amount of fireworks, roughly 25-ish, maybe 26 stacks, which should last for a good amount of time. I actually didn't do the math out, because I really didn't care that much, but eventually we will change the timer interval, so it'll be something like 5 to 10 seconds. Last time I changed it, though, it crashed, so I kind of want to wait until later and just pray that it doesn't crash me. But we can always test this out if we were to change this back to Dr. Ragehard, and we'll do that at the end just to make sure it works. But as you can see, it is extracting them out and putting them in here, so as they're getting fired off, it'll stay filled, And if you guys noticed when, I don't even know if I showed you guys, but these fireworks are regular fireworks crafted with just gunpowder and paper, one gunpowder, one paper, meaning they are the worst fireworks you could have. They don't have any explosion, but they still make the noise as they shoot up into the air. So that, in my opinion, is the most annoying part. It makes like that little whistling noise. So that's what Brink's going to have to deal with. And if we want to make sure that this is still all good inside this area, we can change it to this, and we can see it is still good inside this area. Nothing to worry about, and we still can't get through it. So that is good. Now, one thing that makes this prank great is because I thought of a lot of the things that Brink could do to try and wiggle around this. So now we need to work on turning this shield on and off. And to do that, we are going to be using a lot of this blue power and wireless redstone stuff. But of course, with wireless redstone comes a wireless jammer. So if Brink tries to jam certain things that are wirelessly transmitted, of course he could jam the power to this, or I mean the redstone signal, which is why we're going to make it so that the redstone signal is off for this. So when it is off, then this thing is working. So he can't just jam the whole signal, or else it'll just stay up. So what we're going to do is take this wireless receiver, and I guess we can do it on this side. We can just throw it down and set that to frequency. You know what, I'm forgetting. We're on a server right now, so let's kind of pick like a random number. We'll do 3,000. So we'll do 3,000 and I think 4. So we'll do 3,004, and that should be okay. And so what we're going to do is then have kind of like a middleman area, and I'm actually going to do that at my base where it's always chunk loaded, but what we're going to do is we're going to set it up here on camera, and then I will move it to my base eventually, just because we don't want Brink coming in being able to find this area and screw with it too. So this is going to include an AND gate. I don't know if you call that a NAND gate, and then a lot of wireless receivers and transmitters, and it's also going to include the levers too. So if we were to throw this gate down, we just use over here as an example. You can see that this one should be outputting a redstone signal right now. Yep, as you can see, it's outputting a redstone signal. And if we were to hook up a bunch of wireless receivers to these three sides, and let's just say set this one to 3001, this one is set to 3002, and this one is set to 3003, and keep in mind these are going to be the three levers that actually have stuff hooked up to them. It looks like we're going to have to sleep soon. Luckily I brought my bed. We can throw this down over here too. But if these are all on, then it should turn this off. And to get around this being turned off, I think we want to invert it. Now keep in mind, I did make this before, but it was a little bit ago, so if I screw up a little bit, I kind of got to think my way through it. So I think this wireless receiver will then be the 3004 one. Whoops, 3004. And we can sleep now, and then we'll go over why this works. And should be pretty easy for you guys to understand in case you want to do this to any of your friends, or if you're Brink here watching because you need a little help figuring out what's going on. So we're going to get some redstone torches just to use as an example. We'll get 3 of them, and if we come over here and let's just say, we'll break these for now, and we'll place them down again later and set the signals. But if we were to do this right here, this should send a signal to this. And I believe that should send a signal to this, but I think it might get a little bit screwed up just because it's wired directly in there. I'm not sure if it can work like that, so let's just put a regular piece of redstone down here and then put, oh, you know what, I had a receiver, not a transmitter. There we go. So that'll be a transmitter, and this will get set to frequency 3004, and you can see that then turns it on. So if we break one of these torches, it turns it off. So you need to have all 3 of these in the correct position, and then it will turn it off. So what we can actually do now is set this to the other way, I believe, and throw down a redstone torch over here, and it should shut it off. And that's what it's going to be set at the very end, is like this. So initially, I think all the stuff in here should be set okay, and we just want to change this to being invisible, and it should be good. So we can break these, and like I said, keep in mind I'm going to move this to my base so Brink can't just kind of like casually come over and screw with it. I could have made this area bigger and actually put this inside of this area, but I'm going to try and keep this compact so as to not, absolutely destroy Brink's base. And I think it should be fine as long as this is chunk loaded constantly, that when Brink loads this will be chunk loaded and still work. So what we're going to do is put the receivers, like I said, down on all these, and unfortunately we have to reset them again. So 3001, 3002, and 3003. And then we can go around Brink's base and pick wherever we want to throw these levers down. So I was thinking in here would be a pretty fun place to throw one down. But of course, Brink's going to kind of casually go through his base. So we're going to throw him down in positions that he, might look and just bait him into trying to flip those levers. So right here we got a nice dark room. And we can actually hide one down under here. And it's really dark in here. So let me see if I can get a torch for you guys. Because I want you guys to be able to see. Okay, we'll get a couple torches. Oh gosh, is there something I thought there was something down here with me? Okay, so throw a torch down here, and we can get to work. So I think we should be able to put it so that if we put a lever on this block, we want to make sure that he can't see really easily when we have the actual transmitter down. So let's break this block right here, and then break this block right here. And I think if we were to put this transmitter right here and put a lever, yeah, that should work. But if we were to put it on a block, whatever, it'll be fine on the floor. So we'll set this one to 3001, and he'll need to flip that to make that go on. And if they're all on, that would shut it off, which would turn the system on. So he needs to flip all of these off or on. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm already forgetting. Okay, I gotta go take another look back here at this system, just to make sure what way we need them flipped. So right now, is this system on or off? The system is on, and one of them is on, so they all need to be on to be working. And if we really wanted to screw with him, we could throw some inverters down on certain ones, so that certain ones have to be flipped up and certain ones have to be flipped down, that would be pretty mean. I feel like this is already a little bit of a rough prank. He's gonna have to go all around his base to find the correct ones and flip them in the right direction. So right now we want this to be off, and he's gonna have to flip this one on. So we can throw this back down here, and that should be good. And now we can go find the next location. I'm gonna keep them all inside his base so that he can find them. I don't want to put him somewhere super random around his base. And unfortunately, his base isn't super big, so it shouldn't be too bad for him to actually find them. But in here might be a cool place to hide them. Let's see. Let us see. Where is it? You got to find a good wall to hide these in. And unfortunately, all of his walls are one thick. Does he have any thicker walls? Nope. Man, Brink, you're killing me. I'm trying to prank you and you're killing me. How about right here? What's right behind this wall? Oh, there's nothing here. Nice. Okay, so we're going to have a wireless transmitter. This one is going to be 3002. And we can throw this block down and throw another lever right here. Actually, we'll break this one to make sure that it's actually working. And when he flips that lever, this one should go on. Yes, but we want it to be off right there. No, that is not what we wanted. Okay, give me the block back. There we go. Throw down a nice decoy lever somewhere right there. And we'll get some decoy levers right out here too. We'll see if we can bait him into one that's right over here. That'd be pretty mean. Right once he reads the signs, he'll see it and he'll go for it. He'll think he's got it and then he won't have it. And then we can put one right here too. And this one can be the last and final one. We'll make this 3003 and put that there. And we'll put the lever right there. So that should work fine. And I actually wonder if we can put it on the wall. I don't know if this would trigger with a block above it. Let's break this and see. Yeah, see, it doesn't trigger with the block above it, unfortunately. So we do have to put it right here. Yep, so he's going to have to flip that on. And there we go. And then we can throw some decoy ones down. try and find some good spots for the decoy ones. This is some really good architecture, I gotta say. It looks pretty solid. So we'll throw one right there. Get another decoy one down here somewhere. We'll throw it like right here. Oh wait, clearly that wouldn't be able. We'll throw it right like that. And then we'll throw one down in here. Ooh, is that zombie in here somewhere? Yeah, it's in a pit down there. We'll throw one down there. And the last one can go over on the other side over there. Or actually, it can go out front. It can go out front. We'll get Brink good with this one. I'll never see this one coming. We can throw this one right here. Okay, so right now, they should all be off, which means that you can't get in here. And if you were to flip all those on, it would let him in there. And so what we can do is actually go and flip. I'm trying to think. I don't even remember which ones were which. You know what? I'm not even going to test it. Clearly it works because these are all programmed to the right one. I'll test it off camera to make sure it works. But that is the theory behind all of this. I'm going to move this all over to my base, and this system will be the only thing that's here. And when Brink is on, it will fire off fireworks at a couple second interval, and it should be fun because it will force him to actually go on a little bit of a scavenger hunt. So the last thing that we actually need to do is grab these signs and throw them down. So I got a lot of signs because it might take a little bit to explain. Dear Brink, I have an adventure for you. Find the correct, oh my gosh, you can't do it. Correct 3 levers and flip them, what would you say, into the correct position to turn or to gain access to the fireworks. So, dear Brink, I have an adventure for you. Find the correct 3 levers and flip them into the correct position to gain access to the fireworks. Best of luck, Rage. There we go. Man, that's going to bother me. That's going to bother me so bad. P.S. Here's an extra sign because of my OCD. There we go. There we go. Dear Brink, I have an adventure for you. Find the correct 3 levers and flip them into the correct position to gain access to the fireworks. Best of luck, Rage. P.S. Here's an extra sign because of my OCD. Now, if he decides he wants to jam all those different wireless signals, it will not work to get him in here because obviously when there's no signal, you're not allowed in. So I don't think there's any sneaky ways to get around this. If there are, then props to you, Brink. But I wish you the best of luck if you're seeing this video and still not going on your adventure yet. Clearly you'll know how to solve it, but that's actually not the case because I'm going to let you know that once I go off camera, I'm going to have fun randomizing these 3 things, and I'm going to make it so that some are inverted, some are not, so some levers have to be flipped on, and some levers have to be flipped off. So, best of luck, Brink, and whoops, that was not the right key. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and let me know what you think about the prank, because Nonsanity always trash talks my pranks, said they were weak, lame. I think this one's pretty good. It's not too disruptive. It doesn't really destroy anyone's base. It's really easy for me to come and help and clean up if he wants, but I think it should be fun for everyone, and I will talk to you guys later.